Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of More Football, Please. I'm John Moore.
I'm Brendan Edgar.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Now, before we get into our predictions and our potential game breakers, we would like to address a very, very concerning subject regarding rape.
Trade rape.
Trade rape. Everyone should be receiving an email on all accepted trades. And I would advise everyone to really look into it. The fact that this is a keeper league does play a factor into the players that are traded. It's perfectly all right to veto trades. And a particular trade today
Kyle.
really seems rapey.
A little bit.
No other way to put it. Now, it does take the other person to accept the trade. I know that Kyle and Nico do not have a really strong connection, or if any connection. But still, the trade can be vetoed. It takes a couple of days to process. So I would advise everyone to look over it. At least, if you don't see anything wrong with it, it's going to get through.
Well, we're probably going to have a vote, though, so just go ahead and check that out if you can.
I personally, Matt Forte's maybe got 2 more years left as an elite running back. Antonio Brown's got 6 or 7 years as an elite receiver, as well as Lamar Miller, who's going to be a running back, and DeQuell Jackson, who's got another 2 years in him as a linebacker. It's just, look at the trade. It's a little suspect, to say the least. Kyle, I don't want to start a war here that hasn't already been brought upon.
You lowball him.
But he definitely got a 14-pound bass using shit. Using a piece of bread. Anyway.
Let's get on to more football, please.
Brendan, please continue.
All right. First impact players of the week, we have Giovanni's Rockets against Team Opium, which is Ben. And for my impact player for you, Johnny, I have LeGarrette Blount. You never know what he's going to do. He could put you up. I believe he had about 73 yards rushing last week. Mm-hmm. But no touchdown, so, 7 points. If he were to have a good day, next week he'd have 30 points. He's just that type of player, so LeGarrette Blount.
For myself, Tyler Lockett, the Rocket, is getting the start this week. Amari Cooper's on a bye. Tavon Austin's on a bye. I need a receiver this week. Tyler Lockett's getting the go. Seattle's got a tough test against Carolina. Carolina has yet to lose this year. This dog's sniffing my nuts. Although Carolina has yet to lose, they're not exactly a strong team. Their entire schedule has been kind of weak. So hopefully Tyler Lockett can get me some solid points. We'll see.
We'll see. Team Opium, Ben, I have Ruben Randall. He's actually been doing pretty well the last few weeks. I'm pretty surprised. I don't know if that's because Cruz is out still or what, but I'm going to say ride him while he's hot. On the opposite side of Beckham, he's obviously going to get some targets. So if Ruben Randall can put some points up for you, I like that.
Ben, I absolutely love every single one of your linebackers. Bobby Wagner, Navarro Bowman, James Laurinaitis. You have the most solid actual player linebackers in the league, I believe. But it doesn't always translate to fantasy.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing because all of them are the quarterbacks for that defense. They get everything set
Best
up.
player for every defense. That might not show up on the scoreboard every week, though.
And that's disappointing.
Really solid.
But I love your linebackers. I think that they'll all have big weeks. Help you out.
Good. What we got next? We got the Ben Gomez's.
The Blood Magic Ben Gomez's. Cody, you sacrificed a pig in the beginning of this year.
I don't know when Cody took up voodoo, but I'm thinking about doing it as well because this is getting ridiculous.
It has been proven to work.
Devontae Freeman, I don't know what to say about him.
As a Falcons fan, I didn't even see this guy.
He's been an absolute monster.
What the?
I don't understand.
Monster.
And for you this week, Cody, I got T.J. Yeldon as your impact player. I think he's starting to come along. He didn't put up too many rushing yards this week. I think he had 43 or so. But he got a reception touchdown. He's getting more involved in the offense. Blake Bortles is putting up 300 yards a game, doing a lot better. So I'm going to have Yeldon as your player of the week.
I have Jarvis Landry. I want to see how he responds with everything that's going on in Miami. New head coach, whole new system. I know he gets a lot of I don't want to say garbage points, but whenever the team's getting beat 24-0 and he's getting all those kick return yards, those kind of are garbage points to me. I want to see if he can get any real stats for you, really put up some solid numbers this week, maybe get a touchdown, help you out more. I believe he's the best receiver on your roster.
I like that. Good stuff. Trent, Jeremy Hill. I know you drafted him pretty high. He went absolutely off at the end of last year. Giovanni Bernard is putting up, I believe, 2 or 3 more yards per carry than him. He's putting up better points than him per game in the last few weeks. So I believe if Jeremy Hill doesn't have a good week in the next few weeks, you might just want to start to sit him because Bernard is doing really well.
It has to be alarming. But it is a keeper league. Remember that. And Jeremy Hill, if he, worst comes to worst, if Gio really does take that spot from him and he ends up in a better situation, he's definitely a player worth keeping. But it's upsetting right now because you're not getting the immediate result from him.
Yeah.
But for you, I see you're starting Josh McCown this week. And
32 points last week.
Hey, he's doing good these past 3 weeks that he's been in, but Denver's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
That team is built off that defense. DeMarcus Ware just went down, which I think will help you out a little bit more. But we'll see. I don't see a 35-point performance coming. But hopefully he can get out there, get you, a solid. If a quarterback gets you 20-plus, you can't complain. So let's hope that he can do that for you.
Good. What we got next? We got a Taco Corp. Great team against the Bolt City Tigers. I'm not allowed to make a pick on this game, but I am going to make a player pick. That for myself is Sammy Watkins, who's finally coming back. I really don't know what to think of him. I drafted him higher than I should have, probably for personal reasons, but I still think he's the best receiver besides Odell Beckham in the draft that came out of. But he's had a lot of hip problems, leg problems. When he's 100% healthy, he usually averages about 10 to 15 points a game. He hasn't been because he hasn't been healthy. Tyrod Taylor in the offense doesn't really help either because he's not a pure passer. But if Sammy can come into his own, he will help me out a lot this week and this year. So Sammy Watkins.
And I think another big point for Sammy is the fact that Tyrod Taylor will not be playing this week.
Yeah.
So I think that even factors in more. Probably doesn't help him out as much, but if the quarterback is not a scrambler like Tyrod Taylor, I'm not sure who they're starting this week.
Matt Castle, maybe?
Is Matt Castle with the Cowboys?
You're right. He was on Bills last year.
Well, whoever they're starting out there, we're going to see. I think that Sammy is definitely going to be a focal point in that offense. LaShawn McCoy and Carlos Williams still battling those injuries. LaShawn McCoy will not be playing. Carlos Williams will be coming back, but maybe to a limited role, perhaps. I don't know. I think Sammy's going to be a bigger focus this week.
Yeah, maybe with a quarterback that's less mobile, he'll get more targets.
Exactly.
You'll see.
Exactly.
So
now, Brendan, for you, Matthew Stafford. We had a trade a couple weeks ago. Matt Ryan for
Didn't
Matthew
look
Stafford.
too good for either of us last week.
No, last week I believe both quarterbacks put up a total of
6.
6 points apiece,
Yeah.
12 points altogether. I think that Julio Jones recovered a fumble in the end zone and got as much as both of us on that one play.
On that one play.
So Stafford's obviously having a lot of trouble. I don't think it's his fault.
The offense
is terrible. The offensive line is horrendous. I've seen the Middleburg Broncos block fronts better than that one. Abdullah has not really been the outstanding back that he showed in week 1. Ever since then, I believe that Theo Reddick is even more involved in the offense than him at this point. But that Stafford-Calvin combo that Mr. Edgar over here has can be lethal.
It's bound to show up eventually.
Exactly. You throw the ball 52 times a game like Stafford, you're bound to have your 400-plus yard games and 3 touchdowns, and all of a sudden you're a fantasy stud. It just takes a week. We'll see if Stafford can do it this week. I know he got benched last week. That's rough. But it could change any moment. He's definitely the starter going forward, though they have no one else in that roster who can beat him.
Good. I like that. Next, we got the team up north. We got Kyle.
No. We forgot the Bold City Tigers.
Forgot. Sorry.
Cameron.
I just thought it was going to be guaranteed win because it's
Oh my.
The Bold City Tigers. Cameron, I got Chris Johnson for you. I picked him last time we made this video, I know. But Andre Ellington came back last week. He did not play the fourth quarter. He had 1 rush for 63 yards. Calvin Johnson had 12 rushes for 73 yards. It's a pretty big yards per carry difference. I know Chris Johnson's going to get carries. He hasn't done anything to deserve no carries. But Andre Ellington's coming back, and what he does out of the backfield, not just running the ball, is a game changer. And I think he's going to get about 60% of the snaps when he's healthy. Maybe not this week, So this week I have him as your fantasy player of the week.
I think that what you need to be praying for, Cameron, is that the Cardinals can bump up high, like a high point total in the very beginning, and have to just ground the ball out with Chris Johnson. It's kind of like a LeGarrette Blount situation that I have. It's nice that the Patriots beat everyone by 20 plus, because then LeGarrette Blount just gets a bunch of carries towards the end of the game. I think that Chris Johnson could slowly start to be consuming that type of role. But at this point, they're going to give him 15 to 20 touches a game. That's all you can ask for in any fantasy player. So,
and he's been doing well with those touches too.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
For you, Cameron, CJ Spiller. The Falcons is who they have tomorrow night. Rise up. But the Saints have a history of using scat backs against the Falcons.
Shane Vereen this year did really well.
He did. And Darren Sproles did very well as an Eagle, week 1, and as a Saint his whole career. CJ Spiller is more or less the same type of player, scat back, kind of use out the backfield a little bit more, complement the Mark Ingram. The Falcons have trouble with those types of players. I expect Spiller to have a few big runs, maybe a touchdown, but I believe the Falcons will win this game unless they just blow it. We almost blew it against Washington, so you never know. But Spiller, I think, could get you a solid 10-plus pretty easily.
Don't forget, Kyrie Robinson was taking a lot of carries for the Saints, too. And his carries have diminished, basically, since CJ's been back the last few weeks. So it's going to be an Ingram and Spiller show. I have Kyrie Robinson, but I see Spiller putting up a lot of points on the backfield, too. So that's
true. That is true. Spiller's up at the back to have out there. And you have Ingram, too. You have a lot of Saints players. We're going to sink that ship. Rise up.
Who dat?
Next up, the team up north. The rapey Kyle Young.
KY Jelly.
Versus War Daddy Buck Q.
DeBlota.
The team up north, if this trade does go through, Antonio Brown, you obviously got the best receiver in the league for a pile of shit and a used tissue.
I'm judging you, Kyle.
Hey, you know what? You send out those types of trades, and if they work, they work. But it's up to the league to try and battle that. I know that you can kind of argue that Leonard Hankerson is like a viable kind of a younger receiver to put in there, but
let's look at the trade in an obvious point of view.
As a Falcons fan, Leonard Hankerson is nothing more than Julio Jones's dick shadow. If we're being completely honest, Roddy is just he's aging.
Just fuck Roddy.
So we're going to have to get another receiver, if not in free agency, then in the draft. Leonard Hankerson will never be more than a wide receiver 3. If he is a wide receiver 2, then congratulations. You know the Falcons better than I do at this point. It's not going to happen. I can almost put money on it. But you got the best receiver in the league, Antonio Brown.
Congrats.
Whenever Roethlisberger comes back, he'll put up a solid 15-plus because he also returns punts, too. He's going to take a few of those, 20-plus yards. Get you extra points with that, too. I'm jealous. I'm a hater. But it's a team up north, man. You got to hate them, right?
We're from the South.
I love you, Kyle.
James Jones. Absolute monster this year. I love that pick. One of my favorite picks of yours. If he can keep this going, sky's the limit for you, man. He's probably averaging, I don't know, but maybe 19, 20 points a game. He's probably got 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns this year.
You got a lot.
You got to ride him on his hot, man. I like that pick, so that's my player of the week.
And what I like about your team is you literally have every single Packers receiver except for Randall Cobb.
Makes a lot of sense.
But,
James Jones, though, great.
But
great
with
player.
Aaron Rodgers, that's perfectly viable.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
For War Daddy Buck U, I'm actually going to go on the defensive side of the ball for this. Dante Whitner up against the Broncos. It hurts my heart to see Peyton like this.
Yeah, it does.
I remember the man who would just throw to Marvin Harrison, 100 and how many touchdowns to Marvin Harrison?
Most of all time.
Ridiculous stats, and now this poor guy. It's a defensive team. He's just simply there. Whitner is a more physical safety, so he'll definitely get a few tackles from the run. But I predicted last week that Charles Woodson would get a pick from Peyton Manning. He got a pick.
Two.
I think Whitner can do more or less the same thing. He's definitely younger than Woodson, so he can, he's a little more agile.
We'll see, Peyton. I love your commercials, though. I do.
Nationwide is on your side.
Chicken party. Is this War Daddy Buck you?
This is War Daddy Buck you.
War Daddy Buck you. Jalen Strong had 2 touchdowns last week, Dakota. That was
2 receptions.
I'm not sure if you started him last week. I looked at your roster and he was playing this week. So
no, he picked him up in waivers.
Okay. Good pickup. DeAndre Hopkins is getting the most targets in the NFL by about 25%. He has a ridiculous amount of targets. He's going to open up a whole end of the side of the field for Jalen Strong if they know what they're doing. I mean, J.J. Watt, he's J.J. Watt, but he didn't really have a good week from last week. But Jalen Strong on the other side, did 2 touchdown game, you could win this thing. You've been putting up a lot of points this last few weeks.
Now, why is DeAndre Hopkins' name Nuke?
Nuke. Interesting story since I'm a Clemson fan. His name is Nuke because until he was 4 years old, he would not go anywhere without his Nuke brand pacifier in UK. And that is why his name is Nuke Hopkins.
Aha.
Interesting fact.
He is breastfeeding all over those defenses right now.
Yeah, he is. Nuke style.
The next game, the Silent Assassins versus Team Reno.
Interesting game.
Christian.
Come on, bro.
Rashad Jennings has only gotten 1 rushing touchdown this year, and you are the New York Football Giants, and you are only putting up 1 rushing touchdown.
You remember the Tiki Barber days?
Tiki Barber, Coach Frawley, up high and tight, baby. High and tight. You know what's funny about that though? Only 1 rushing touchdown does shit for you in fantasy. He needs to step it up this week. You guys got Philly, Monday night. Everyone's gonna be watching. You guys pulled some crazy shit out of your asshole against San Fran.
Hopefully you can do it again. Shane Vereen did really well.
Shane Vereen did do very well. And Odell did his stupid little touchdown dance. He's a fucking immature child.
Have some class, Odell.
Hate that fucking guy.
What you got? You said Jennings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got Peyton. What's wrong with Peyton, Christian? I know you drafted the Manning brothers because you have gay crushes on both of them, but this is easily the worst season of Peyton's career. He led the league in interceptions his rookie year, but he still put up touchdowns. I don't know what's going on. They're not putting up touchdowns in general. It's not that they're getting to the goal line and hanging it off to C.J. Anderson. They're just not scoring. They're winning with defense, and that does not look good for you, especially if you've got 4 people that you don't even set your lineup.
You know what? I'd actually like to know, why did people buy into C.J. Anderson? I believe that anyone who actually watched the Broncos game last year knew that he didn't run like in the middle of the field. He would have 27 touches, 80 yards, but 3 touchdowns because Peyton would get him all the way down there. So,
is that happening this year then?
No, because they can't even get him into the goal line, which is why
Cody bit high on Anderson.
C.J. Anderson is not a starting running back on any other team, in my opinion.
That's to you, Cody. You drafted him in the top 5, I think.
Fantasy-wise, I can see your choice, but sometimes you just got to take a step back and just
look at the situation.
Look at the situation. Look at
the age.
Let's say, for example, Dallas Clark, whenever he was with the Indianapolis Colts, probably the highest scoring tight end in that fantasy time. And then he went to Tampa, went to a few other places and did shit.
Yeah.
Brandon Stokely. Shit everywhere else. But you know what Peyton Manning does back in his prime? Puts up points. That's why you got to kind of feed off people. I believe that's the same thing that's going to happen with Julius Thomas. We'll see. We'll see if Blake Bortles can do anything.
We'll see. I like that.
For Team Reno, Sheldon Richardson. That piece of shit shouldn't even be playing in the NFL, but here he is about to start. They got a really stacked defensive line. Muhammad Wilkerson, Leonard Williams, and Sheldon Richardson. They're all kind of young, and he'll be more in a rotation, I believe, especially with him coming back from suspension. But he's an absolute monster, and I think he can go in there and get you some good stats.
I like that. Nico, I have DeAndre Hopkins. He's as far as I'm concerned, he's leading the league in receiver points a game. He's going to get you 20, 25 points this week. And the reason that's my player for you for the week is because I think that you're going to leave a couple slots empty, and he can take care of those slots for you. If he puts up 30 points, it won't matter if you sit someone or two that you forget. Because at the end of the day, I don't think you and Christian are going to set your lineups. So it's all going to be who cares more.
It's kind of disappointing, man. We got into a league where we have 4 different teams that steadily do videos. Cody always puts up a power ranking system. Lots of trades going around, but we still have a few teams here and there that just simply don't care. It's just kind of upsetting because this league's going to be around for a while, and if you only have about 6 teams that actually care about their team, then the separation's going to happen a lot quicker.
Absolutely,
which is upsetting.
I care deeply about this league, and being 1-4, it eats me alive every night. I don't get that vibe from some of you who don't even set your lineup. We're looking for competitors.
Now, for predictions.
Picks of the week.
I will not be choosing a winner for the Giovanni's Rockets versus Team Opium game, so I will leave that to
me.
To Brendan.
Johnny, I am going to go with you. I'm going with Giovanni's Rockets. I was going to pick against you just to piss you off, but I don't see Ben handling you this week. I know you love his linebacker core, but
absolutely love it.
I don't love his offense, and I think you've been putting up the most points within the last 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure, or overall, you have the most points allowed or points forced.
I have the most points for and the most points against.
Okay, I like you this week.
Ben, I absolutely love your linebacking core. If for my team on Madden, that's what I want my linebacking core to be.
Or in real life.
Yeah. The next game, the Ben Gomez's versus the Abdullah Express. Obviously, you can't go back. You can't go back on a blood ritual like Cody, so I'm still going to go Cody. He's riding an amazing hot streak. Devontae Freeman is going to put up, 55 points.
At least.
Cody, you drafted a very young team, and you have been getting a little lucky with the injuries. Carlos Williams helped you out for a little while. Tevin Coleman was the starting running back, and then, Devontae Freeman's doing what he's doing now. But the fact that you drafted so young and your players have so much room to grow is honestly alarming to the rest of the league, I can say the least, because you're going to be a dominant team for a long time.
Right. Who's to say next year someone can't get lucky with a few of those players? Next year.
That's the truth. We actually are going to be posting up a poll pretty soon asking how long the draft should be.
How many rounds for the rookies next year,
Because, I know that a lot of people want it to be kind of deeper, but in my personal opinion, think about all the linemen, like offensive linemen that are taken in the first round. Obviously, we can't draft them for our fantasy team. And in the waiver wire pickups, I don't think that there's enough room to do like 5 rounds. I was thinking 3 or 4 would probably be more respectable.
3 to 5 is probably the most we could do.
Yeah. I don't know. As far as like true rookies go, I think 3 or 4 is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's going to be a few waiver wire pickups where people are going to have to drop players so they really don't want
Retires
to. Just the lesser of the evils. It's going to be interesting to see.
For sure. Who we got next?
Who do you have for the Ben Gomez's versus the Abdullah Express?
Oh, I have Cody. I don't know which member of your family you sacrificed to get this luck, but I'm going to ride it strong, Cody. If you look at your roster top to bottom and you don't even factor in the points they scored this year, nobody would say that you have the best team. I'll be honest with you, but for some reason you do, and you did really well in the draft this year. I don't even think you were playing for this year. I think you were just trying to get the best long-term players.
If you look at his power rankings, he definitely was playing for the years to come.
Exactly, but I can't hate too much. If I would have played Cutler and Greg Hardy this week instead of Stafford and Beasley, I would have beat you by 5-6 points. But that's not how you play. You got to play the players and you got to deal with it. And you've been doing really well with that, so I'll take you.
Now, next up, Taco Corp versus the Bold City Tigers. I will be pissing my co-host off. Cameron, you have been riding a pretty good streak. You have a very good record at this point. You have survived your bye week with minimal scars. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Gronk are finally back. I think that, I think you can put up some points this week. You got a few receivers that you didn't play last week. You had some injuries. Brendan has kind of a unlucky streak. He did not sacrifice a family member this year. But this game is up in the air. It's a tough one. But I think that quarterback play could be a huge factor in this game.
So could AP returning. It's going to be a good one, Cameron.
It's going to be a very good one. This was borderline our game of the week. But, I think the Spiller's going to help you out a lot this week, too. I think that he's going to put up some good points. And Ingram is due for a touchdown against the Falcons. It happens.
Hey, I like the pressure.
Now,
I perform best when people pick against me.
Last time you were on this show is his only win of the year. Was last time you were on this show. Who knows, if he wins this week, he might be the permanent host of More Football, Please.
Like that.
Now, we're going to skip this one and just go to Christian, the Silent Assassins versus Team Reno.
I think both of us are in the same
we are in the exact same mindset.
Because
we know what's going to happen.
Whoever sets our lineup is going to win this game.
Exactly.
That's it.
These teams are notorious for not setting their lineups. Nico last week won without even playing a cornerback. Dude. All right, you know what? I'm sorry that you guys, probably going through your own stuff right now. Very busy lives. I check my fantasy football lineup whenever I'm pooping in the morning.
Do you poop or pee?
That's all it takes. It's a mobile app on your phone. If you don't want to bring your computer.
Don't even look too hard into it. Just make sure there's no one on bye and there's no one injured. So that we can feel good about our win.
If you set your lineup, you can at least have a chance.
It's not that hard.
But if, say, in a perfect world, both of these lineups are set, Nico has a clear advantage.
Nico is projected a lot more.
Christian's team is just injured beyond belief, and he lost his best player, Jamal Charles.
Say Christian does some research, fills all his holes. Nico has 3 players on the bye week and an empty slot. That's
what I'm saying. It's a toss-up. It's whoever wants to set their lineup.
Who wants it more?
Who wants to?
I know I want it. I want all the tacos.
Our game of the week. The reason that we are here. The team up north versus War Daddy Fuck You. Brendan, who do you think will win this game?
This week, in our game of the week, I have the team up north. Dakota, you've been coming on strong. I think the last 3 weeks, you've put up maybe the most points. I don't know if Johnny's got you, but it's close. You came out of nowhere. I'm not sure why. You started out 0-3, 0-2, and you won the last 2 weeks. So I like your team, but I like Kyle's a little more. I think Kyle has lost a couple close games he maybe shouldn't have. He also won a close game he shouldn't have against me. But he's 2-3. He's due for a win with his squad. He did draft for this year, I believe, in some of his players. And I got you this week, Kyle. I do.
There's something special going on with the War Daddies. This win streak does not happen very often in this league unless you're Cody. And that's solely because you sacrificed a family member.
I think it was his aunt.
You know what? I loved her.
I did too.
I loved her. But I have War Daddy Buck You winning in the upset this week. I believe in streaks. I believe it's his time right now. Eddie Lacy, I believe, is on his roster. I believe he's going to have a good week this week. And Kyle, you dirty, dirty rapist. Karma is a bitch.
It is.
Anyway, this ends the edition of our very, very long...
Hold up.
Ooh.
For all y'all watching, I just want to give a quick shout out to Johnny's mustache. Can we get a little zoom in right there? Look at that thing. Wait till Halloween. Look at that thing.
I'm actually saving it for Halloween. I will be doing a Halloween edition of More Football, Please, where I'll be dressed up in my costume, and I hope you guys enjoy.
That is amazing. I will join you on that. All right, y'all.
All
We
right.
will see y'all next week.
Best of luck to everyone. Rise up.
Go Tigers.